In the bright corner of our small yellow house, laughter used to live. My name is Mommy. I am a mother, and I have one child, my daughter Peace. She was 10 years old, with soft eyes, light brown skin like roasted groundnuts, and a laugh that could wake a sleepy house. Every morning, Peace would jump on my bed like a frog and shout, "Mummy, wake up. It's a joy day." I used to call her my sunshine because her smile could chase away any cloud. We didn't have much. Just one TV that only worked if you bent the antenna like a magician, a fridge that made a humming noise like a tired bee, and a tiny kitchen that smelled like pepper soup even when we were boiling water. But we were happy. Peace and I would dance in the sitting room while beans boiled. She would jump on the couch and say, "I'm Beyoncé today." And I would laugh and say, "Then I'm Tiwa Savage." We would twist and laugh and twist, until our neighbor would knock and say, "Please, let me rest. It's not your concert." Then we'd laugh even more. On weekends, I would braid her hair while she told me stories from school. "Mummy, Blessing said she wants to marry 3 husbands because she likes plenty rice." I would gasp, "3? Does she want to feed them with a wheelbarrow?" We laughed so hard that day that my fingers couldn't even hold the comb. But deep inside, under all the love and joy, there was a shadow. A quiet name that Peace never asked about. A name I had buried deep in my heart like a broken mirror wrapped in cloth. Her father. She didn't remember him. He left when she was 3. One morning, he said he was going to buy bread, and he never came back. I waited. I called. I begged his friends. I went to his family. Nothing. They said he had traveled. Some said he joined a woman in another state. Others said he was broke and ashamed. No one really knew. Or maybe they knew and didn't care. But me, I never told Peace the full story. I only said, "Your daddy traveled." She stopped asking after a while. She was only 5, and then 6, and then 7. I told myself I was protecting her. But the truth was I was angry. Very angry. And the more Peace looked like him, his nose, his laughter, his stubborn chin, the harder it was for me to breathe some days. But still we were happy. Truly happy. Until that Monday. It began with a letter. Peace came home from school holding a white envelope. "Mummy, the head teacher said to give you this." I opened it. It was an invitation. Father-daughter cultural day, Friday, 10 a.m. My heart jumped. Peace smiled. "Can Uncle Sam come? He's always helping us." Uncle Sam was our neighbor. He was kind and quiet. Always helped carry our gas cylinder. He even helped fix the ceiling fan once. I paused. "Do you want him to come?" Peace nodded. "Everyone else has daddies. I don't want to be the only one again." That word, again, shook me. I forced a smile. "Let's ask him then." Sam said yes, and he even bought her a small Ankara dress and matching beads for her hair. She looked like a princess. I watched her spin in the mirror. "Mummy, do I look like your queen?" I smiled. "No, Peace. You look like my empress." The day of the event came. I packed her lunch. Sam wore a fine native attire and took her hand like a real father. I stayed back home, watching the door like a soldier. Something in my chest hurt. When they returned, Peace ran to me. "Mummy, we danced. And Uncle Sam won the sack race." I smiled, but the smile sat like a stone on my lips. Later that night, when she was asleep, Sam knocked on my window and whispered, "Mommy, we need to talk." We sat in the backyard. Mosquitoes buzzed, and the sky blinked with stars. "I think Peace wants more," he said softly. I looked up. "More what?" She asked me today if I could be her real daddy. My chest grew tight. She said she doesn't know her father, and sometimes she wonders if he forgot her name. I looked away. He forgot more than her name. Sam was quiet. Then he said, "Why don't you tell her the truth?" I stood up. "Because she's happy. Because I don't want to open wounds that healed long ago." Sam looked at me. "Are they healed? Or just covered?" I didn't answer. I went inside and locked the door. That night, I dreamed of my past. I saw his face again. His laugh. His promises. He told me he would build me a house on a hill. He told me he would name our child after his mother. He told me he would never leave. I woke up with tears on my pillow. The next day, Peace came home with another paper. "Mummy, we are doing family tree in school." I need to write where my daddy is from. I froze. She looked up at me. Where's daddy from, Mummy? Is he from Nigeria or somewhere else? My tongue dried. He's from here. She smiled. So can you help me write his name? I froze again. Then I said, no. Peace blinked. Why? I looked away. Because he doesn't deserve space on your tree. She stared at me. But he's my root too. I turned sharply. Peace, I said no. Her mouth dropped. She ran into her room and slammed the door. That was the first crack. The first small break in our laughter. For days, Peace was quiet. She did her homework but didn't sing. She ate her food but didn't laugh. Even when I tickled her, she just smiled softly. One day, I found her looking through old photo albums. She pointed to a picture. Is this him? I nodded. Why did he leave? I whispered. He stopped loving us. Peace frowned. But how can someone stop loving their child? I had no answer. She looked at me. Mummy, are you angry at me because of him? My heart dropped. No. No, Peace. Never. I love you more than anything. She whispered. Then don't punish me for what he did. I sat on the floor, weak. She stood and walked away. That night, I held her baby clothes in my hands. Her tiny socks. Her first birthday gown. And I cried. Maybe I had been unfair. Maybe I had poured my pain into a glass and told her to drink from it. Maybe. But still, how do you forgive a man who vanished? How do you teach a child to carry the weight of a ghost? The next week, Peace wrote an essay in school. It was called, The Man Who Forgot Me. The teacher sent it to me. She wrote, Sometimes I dream of a man with my eyes. I ask him his name, and he walks away. My mummy says he went away because he stopped loving us. But I think maybe he got lost. Maybe he doesn't know how to come back. If he ever reads this, I want to say, my name is Peace. I'm 10, and I still remember you, even though you forgot me. I cried when I read it, and I knew something had changed. Not just in her, but in me. The laughter in our house had turned into silence, and silence is the loudest sound of pain. The day after I read Peace's essay, the house felt colder. I cooked her favorite food, yam porridge with fried plantains. She smiled when she saw it, but her smile didn't touch her eyes. She ate in silence, slowly, like someone thinking too hard. After dinner, I brought her to my lap and brushed her hair. Her eyes looked far away. Do you still want to talk about your dad? I asked softly. Peace didn't answer. She just nodded. I took a deep breath. His name is Patrick, I said. He used to laugh like you. He loved music like you. And he loved me once, or I thought he did. She looked up at me. Why did he leave? I swallowed hard. Because he got scared. Because he didn't want the weight of a family. Because he was weak. Peace nodded slowly. So he chose himself. Yes, I whispered. He chose himself. She stared at the wall for a long time. Maybe that's why I feel like half of me is missing. I held her tightly. You're not missing anything. You are whole. You are enough. But in my heart, I knew something had opened in her. A space. A question. And questions grow roots when left unanswered. One evening, Peace came home holding a small notebook. She dropped it on the table and said, I'm going to write to him. I stared. What? I want to write letters, even if he never reads them. I want to say what's in my heart. I hesitated, then nodded. Okay, but only if you show me the letters. Peace agreed, but she never showed me a single one. That same week, Peace started acting differently. She became friends with a quiet girl at school named Zikora. I had never heard her name before. She doesn't talk much, Peace told me, but she listens well. Then, Peace began locking her bedroom door. At first, I ignored it. Children want space, I told myself. But one night, I passed by her door and heard something strange. She was talking, not just to herself, but softly, like she was whispering to someone. I pressed my ear close to the door. Peace said, I miss you. I wish you would come back. Sometimes I think Mummy is still angry. But I'm not. A pause. Then she said, You don't have to stay forever. Just long enough to see me dance. Goosebumps climbed my arms. Who was she talking to? The next morning, I checked her room. Nothing unusual. Just her books, her teddy, her necklace box. But the notebook was gone. I asked gently. Peace, who were you talking to last night? She shrugged. I talk to myself sometimes. I stared into her eyes. She looked calm. Too calm. Then came the phone call. I was cooking rice when my phone rang. A strange number. I answered. Hello. A male voice said, Is this Mommy? I froze. My heart raced. Yes. Who is this? Silence. Then. It's me. Patrick. The wooden spoon dropped from my hand. I leaned against the wall. Patrick? His voice was older. Tired. Like the wind had carried him too far. I got a message, he said. A letter. From a girl named Peace. My heart stopped. She sent it through her classmate's cousin. He works in a dispatch shop. He tracked my old number and found me. I couldn't speak. She said she was my daughter, and that her name is Peace, and that I used to buy bread but never came back. I covered my mouth. He continued. I didn't know she still remembered me. I said slowly, Of course she remembers you. You're her father. Then he said something that shook my bones. She wants to meet me. She said you'd never allow it, but she wants to meet. That night, I sat on the bathroom floor and cried. Peace had found him, all by herself. While I was shielding her from the past, she had gone into it with bare hands. And now, he wanted to come back. The next morning, I said nothing. But Peace was glowing. She brushed her hair twice. She polished her school shoes. She hummed while packing her bag. Mummy, she said softly, if someone who left really wants to come back, would you let them? I didn't answer. That afternoon, I walked to Uncle Sam's house. I told him everything. He listened with a serious face. Then he said, Mommy, you have to let her decide. She's only 10. I shouted. She doesn't know the weight of pain. Sam looked at me. But she knows the shape of her own hole. That sentence stayed in my chest like a stone. 3 days later, Peace came home early from school. I was in the kitchen. She dropped her bag and said, He's coming. I turned. What? Daddy. He's coming on Saturday. He said he wants to see you first. I stared at her. You invited him? She nodded slowly. I wanted to know where I come from. I shook my head. You don't know what he's capable of. He left us. Just like that. What if he leaves again? Peace whispered. Then at least I'll know I tried. I wanted to shout. I wanted to break something. But instead, I walked into my room and shut the door. Saturday came like a drum. The sky was too quiet. The wind too still. I wore a blue wrapper and tied my hair. I didn't know why I dressed up. Maybe to feel strong. At 2 p.m., there was a knock on the door. Peace ran to open it. And there he was. Patrick. Older. His beard was gray at the tips. He wore a plain white shirt and brown slippers. His eyes were tired. His hands shook a little. Hi, Mommy, he said. I stared. Then I walked away. We sat in the parlor. Peace sat between us, smiling like it was Christmas. Patrick looked at me and said, I'm sorry. That word made my chest burn. I was stupid. Cowardly. I should never have left. I thought I was too poor. I thought I had nothing to offer. I folded my arms. So you gave nothing? He nodded. I was wrong. Peace took his hand. Tell me about when I was a baby. He smiled. You used to grip my fingers so tightly. Like you were scared I'd float away. He looked at me. I guess you knew. I didn't speak. Peace asked him questions. He answered them all. He stayed for 2 hours. Then he stood up and said, Thank you for letting me come. Peace hugged him. Will you come again? He nodded. If your mum allows. Then he looked at me. Please, don't punish her for my sins. And with that he left. That night Peace was quiet. She brushed her teeth, said her prayers, and crawled into bed. I sat beside her. Did it help? I asked. She nodded. Yes, it helped. Then she said softly, but it also made it worse. I blinked. Why? She turned her face. Because now I want him to stay. My heart cracked open. 2 weeks passed. Patrick called once. Then twice. He said he was planning to return to his state. I don't want to confuse her, he said. I wanted to scream. You already have. But I stayed silent. Then it happened. One day, I came home and Peace was gone. Her bag. Her clothes. Her teddy. All gone. On the bed was a letter. Dear Mummy, I'm not running away. I just want to feel what it's like to be held by my father for more than 2 hours. I will come back. I promise. But I need to feel both sides of myself. Love. Peace. I collapsed on the floor. The house felt dead. Empty hanger hooks swung quietly in Peace's room. I stood in her doorway, numb, holding the letter she left. She was with Patrick. With the man who forgot us. The man who once turned his back. Now she chose him. Over me. I didn't cry. I just sat on her bed, her soft teddy beside me, and breathed like someone learning how to exist again. Uncle Sam came by in the evening. I gave him the letter. He read it and nodded slowly. She'll come back. I stared at the floor. Will she come back to me? He looked at me for a long time. Have you left space for her? Patrick called 2 days later. She's okay, he said. Safe. I didn't plan for this. I was just at the park when she appeared. I said nothing. She's been asking questions. A lot of questions. About when she was a baby. About why I left. About you. My heart beat fast. What did you tell her? I told her the truth. That I failed. That I abandoned both of you. And that it was the biggest mistake of my life. I gripped the table. You don't get to be a hero, Patrick. He sighed. I'm not trying to be. Then he added. She asked if she could stay the week. I said she had to ask you. He passed the phone to her. Mummy, Peace whispered. My throat dried. Yes, baby. Can I stay till Sunday? I want to see what it feels like. Just once. I paused. Then I said, Fine. She was quiet. Then softly, Thank you. And the line went dead. The weeks stretched like old chewing gum. Each day was longer than the last. I did not eat much. I did not talk much. Her absence sat in the house like a stranger, watching me, mocking me. I thought of all the times I had silenced her questions, all the times I had said no before understanding why. Maybe I had done what Patrick did too, left her alone, just in a different way. Sunday came. I cleaned the house. I made okra soup, her favorite. I changed the bed sheets. I opened the windows wide, so fresh air could come in. And I waited. At 6:13 p.m., I heard the knock. I rushed to the door and opened it. There she stood, not smiling, not crying, just standing, with a small bag, her teddy, and eyes that had seen too much in 1 week. Hi, Mummy, she said. I reached to hug her. She let me, but her arms didn't squeeze back the way they used to. We ate quietly. I asked questions. She answered with one word. How was the visit? Fine. Did he cook for you? Yes. Did he talk to you about things? Some things. That night, I lay in bed and stared at the ceiling. Had I lost her? Days passed. She was home, but not really home. She laughed less, spoke softly. Sometimes, I caught her writing in her notebook, then hiding it under her pillow. I found the notebook one afternoon. I didn't mean to read it, but I did. Asterisk, I feel split in two. I love Mummy, but sometimes I hate her too. For keeping things from me. For making me feel like asking questions is wrong. Daddy says people hide when they're ashamed. Maybe Mummy was ashamed of him. Or of me. I don't know who I am. And that scares me more than anything. Asterisk. My hands shook as I closed it. I wanted to scream. To explain. To say, I was trying to protect you. But what if she didn't want protection? What if she wanted truth? One Saturday, we went to buy tomatoes at the market. A woman passed by and said, Mommy, your daughter looks so much like her father. Peace turned sharply. You know him. The woman laughed. Who doesn't know Patrick? Fine man back then. Heartbreaker, oh. Peace looked at me. My face burned. She didn't speak the rest of the day. That night I knocked on her door. She was lying on her bed, drawing. Can we talk? I asked. She shrugged. If you want. I sat down. Peace, I made mistakes. She looked up. I thought I was helping you. I thought if I hid the pain, you wouldn't feel it. She stared. I wanted you to grow up with laughter, not questions. But I see now, questions grow anyway. She said quietly, yes. And they don't like being ignored. I nodded. You're right. She sat up. So what now? I took a deep breath. You're old enough to choose how you want to know your father. But I will not lie again. You can ask me anything. She thought for a while. Then she said, "Did you ever love him?" I looked at her. "Yes. I loved him more than I love the world." Her eyes softened. Then she asked, "Do you still hate him?" I paused. "I hate what he did, but I think I hate myself more for letting that pain touch you." She stared at me for a long time, then turned away, and that hurt more than any slap. Weeks passed. Patrick visited one more time. Peace was happy to see him, but her smile wasn't like before. He brought her a small wristwatch. She thanked him politely. After he left, she sat beside me. "I think I needed to see him," she said. "To understand." She nodded. "Yes. And now I do." I asked, "What do you understand?" She said quietly that he left because he couldn't carry love, and that you stayed, but made me carry the anger. I blinked fast. "I never meant to." She didn't respond. School resumed. Peace became quiet in class. Her teachers called me. "She's doing okay," one said. "But she's not all here. It's like her mind is always somewhere else." At home, she spent more time alone. One day, I entered her room and found her sleeping with her notebook open. The last line on the page read, "Some wounds don't bleed. They just stay open forever." Then came the day she exploded. I asked her to wash her socks. She shouted, "Why are you always shouting at me? Why do you treat me like I'm broken?" I stared at her, stunned. "I just asked you to do your chores." She pointed at me. "You always think I'm ungrateful. Like I chose him over you." Tears filled her eyes. "I didn't ask to be born to two people who can't even look at each other without pain." She ran into her room and slammed the door. I sat down on the floor and cried. That night, she didn't eat dinner. She didn't say goodnight, and I didn't knock. We both lay in our separate silences. Two people, in one house, with 1,000 invisible walls between them. Weeks later, her birthday came. She didn't want a party, just a cake. She sat in front of it, candles lit, eyes tired. I asked her to make a wish. She blew the candles softly. "What did you wish for?" I asked. She whispered, "To feel whole again." Then she stood up, went into her room, and locked the door. That was the moment I knew. I had lost her. Not to Patrick, not to the past, but to the cracks I helped create. One morning, she packed a small bag. "I want to live with Auntie Clara for a while," she said. Clara was my cousin. She lived 2 streets away. I asked why. She looked at me with calm eyes. "Because I need air and space, and I don't want to hate you." Those words hit harder than any insult. I nodded, and she left. The house is quiet again, but not like before. Now the quiet is heavy. I sit on her bed some nights, holding her teddy, wondering when we lost each other, wondering if I should have answered her questions earlier, wondering if my silence was louder than Patrick's absence. People ask me, "Is she coming back?" I say, "Yes," but inside I don't know. Because sometimes, when you punish a child for someone else's wrong, they stop seeing you as home. If you have not subscribed to my channel, you might not hear my voice again, but if you are, then you are growing every day. Check my page for more interesting stories. Thanks for watching.